When you're creating your value resource, there are about 7 or 8 archetypes that I'm going to suggest that you use. So you'll be creating one of these every single week. These 7 types, you'll basically be able to spin them around over and over again. I'm going to walk you through what all 7 are fairly quickly, so that you can then take these and apply them to your niche. So you'll be creating one every week. You're going to offer it to your audience by saying comment X word below and I'll share it with you. Again, we're going to get into that in more detail. You're going to send it to all the people who comment who are going to be warm leads, and you're going to also send it to cold leads and cold outreach campaigns. So you're going to generate dozens to hundreds of conversations by doing this over time, and this is what's really going to build the momentum. So let me walk through the archetypes quickly here with some examples. So quick win formula. So for example, on screen you can see, so one that I could say because it's LinkedIn is made one change to my LinkedIn headline, booked 8 calls in 7 days, steal my formula. So that's the outline. The reason this is effective, it gives instant gratification. So it makes it easy for someone to say, oh, I could do that too and get these results. It's highly actionable and easy to implement for the reader. So it's just one thing that they need to change. It's not a big, massive thing they need to change. It's a small win effectively. And it demonstrates your expertise through immediate proof. So what you're saying here is made one change to my LinkedIn headline. It was something that I thought about, and these are the reasons why I knew this would have an impact. So in the video, in the value resource that I give away, I'm going to be explaining why I made the change, why I knew this was going to have a positive impact, and then explaining that the changes were made. And it's this understanding of what you're bringing to the party, and then you're able to deliver that in a resource. That's what actually allows you to create content that gets clients. So the hook in this case is, as we said it in the last one, and then the giveaway copy is I just recorded a step-by-step video, walkthrough showing exactly how to write a LinkedIn headline that instantly books sales calls. So again, in that video, you're going to break down the data-backed approach as to why this worked and you can include a template as well. But templates are one thing, but explaining how to use the templates in specific scenarios, that's what builds your authority in the reader's eyes. Mistakes and results. So this is one you can't use consistently, but it's one you can use sparingly because you can't say avoid 3 mistakes every week. It's harder to repeat. Whereas the quick win one, you can find, like say for example, your Google Ads agency, I just spoke to a person who did this, they could say, we just optimized the product image on one of our Google shopping campaign products for a client last week. The conversion rate, the ROAS on that campaign went from 3 to 7 overnight. Here's what we did. So you can basically do quick wins like that all the time. This company has, I think they have 30 or 40 clients. So they're basically going to be able to speak to the CSMs, understanding what campaigns are working, and then create quick wins like this all the time because they're coming up, basically every day. Whereas mistakes, you don't want to repeat the mistakes. You maybe want to use these once a month or once a quarter. But yeah, one example could be avoid these 3 content mistakes that cost me 20k. So you can learn from my experience. So you don't have to pay the 20k as well as what's implied. See the fixes. So the reason this works is it appeals to the fear of loss, prompting people to take action. It highlights the common pitfalls. So you'll generally bring out 3 things that are, beginners' mistakes or whatever that people shouldn't do, and positions you as knowledgeable through transparency. So it's like, I'm not perfect. I made these mistakes before, and it's very normal to make these mistakes before, but you don't need to make these mistakes as long as you follow this and understand why these are not going to work. And you're explaining that from a point of, I've done this before. I know what I'm talking about here. So again, that's the giveaway copy that you could use in this case. Client-specific template reveals. So this is an important. I just want to get into this one. So one example could be the exact LinkedIn DM template my client used to sign a 15k deal. Get the script. So what we want to say, you've seen a lot of probably template giveaways on LinkedIn. Template giveaways do well in terms of engagement, but if you don't do them properly, they won't get you any clients. So here's my 100, for example. Let's compare these two. Here's 50 LinkedIn hook templates versus here are 50 of my top performing hook templates in 2024 that my clients use to generate $10 million in organic revenue. Or you could say I've wrote 5,000 LinkedIn posts. Here are the top 20 performing hooks that generated X in revenue. You're obviously going to go for B because it's come with a lot of research built in and authority built in. And then when you give away the templates, you want to explain why these templates are good and what scenarios to use them and what scenarios not to use them. Because again, this is kind of where your IP is bringing to the party. It's not having the templates because everyone's going to have them, but it's knowing which templates to use when and why they're going to be effective. That's what builds authority for you again. So reasons this works: leverages concrete social proof because it's specific deals, specific templates that people can log into. Expertise through tangible results. So 15K deal signed, or gives immediate value, and they can actually just use. In theory, they can use the template straight away, but you should be saying to them, you need to have this type of criteria, and you need to know when to use the template and why you should be using it then. That's how you're going to get the most from this. And again, giveaway copies here, very straightforward. Results breakdown. So again, we want to take one thing that you did for a client and then talk about how, so it's not a wide case study, but almost like a micro case study on a specific thing you did for them. So for example, I could say 1 LinkedIn post, 25K reviews, 12 leads, 2 clients. I did one last week for a client. I wrote it verbally with them. I think it got 8,000 views, 6 leads, and they've signed 1 or maybe 2 clients at this point. I'm not sure. Here's exactly how I wrote it. And then you've given the in this one I would give the psychological breakdown of each part of the post, why it's all important and what role it plays. So I'm explaining to them how to do it, but really what I'm saying is I know how to put this together and I can show you or do this with you so that you can do the same. So again, shows clear ROI, demonstrates transparency and expertise simultaneously, and appeals directly to their desire for replicable results. So people are going to want to replicate these results by doing the same thing as you. But what happens is you show them how to do it, but there's obviously nuance in everyone's separate case. And if you're not an expert at the thing, you're not going to be able to do it yourself. So that's when people say, I don't want to learn how to do this. I'm just going to pay you to do it. And again, this is good giveaway copy here. So authority accelerator, this is like if you have personal results in the thing that you're doing. So if you've basically led the path and then you're selling your own transformation in a way. So I grew from 10 to 50K using just LinkedIn content. Here's my 5-step blueprint. So it establishes direct credibility because it shows I was in your shoes and I've already done the thing that you want and I can help you do it. So this won't be applicable in all cases, especially if you have an agency. But if you have, say, you're a consultant that exited an agency in the past and now you're helping other agencies grow and so on, this might be a good one for you to write because you're saying, this is actually what I've done. I've actually done this. So I know I'm 4 or 5 steps ahead of where you need to be. So I'll show you how to take the next few steps. Provides clear, structured steps that feel achievable and guided aspiration by showing transformational growth that I have already done or you have already done. So again, you're just showing you're multiple steps ahead of them and that they can trust you in the path going forward. And then this is the copy. There's a typo on here. That should be 50. Big data-backed proof. So I analyzed 10,000 LinkedIn posts. These 3 frameworks drove 80% of the leads. Grab the cheat sheet. So again, this could be, last year we launched 2,000 Google ads. Last year we A/B tested 1,500 landing page headlines. Here's the cheat sheet for writing your next headline and so on and so forth. So big data review, what's inside your head, how many times have you done the thing that you're professing to do, and then boil it down to just the top performers. Reasons it works: leverages hard data to build trust. So it's not just saying here's how to write great landing page headlines. It's I've wrote 10,000 of these. Here are the top 5 frameworks that always work, and here's how to write them for your business type thing. So it's not, and appeals to analytical results focused buyers, which you're selling B2B so that everyone's going to be results focused. Provides highly actionable insights backed by evidence. And again, copy. So specific tactic. So this is again where you zoom in on a tactic that you do or one of the sub-strategies that you do with clients. Zoom in on it, highlight something specific related to it, highlights an underutilized tactic that maybe they're not aware of, maybe that a beginner wouldn't know, but it's something they kind of need to know or they're interested in learning more about. It's going to appeal directly to their curiosity and experimentation. So this one, for example, even if someone knew quite a lot about LinkedIn, they might not know that there's a good strategy for generating book calls from polls, where you do a poll, see who voted, reach out to the people who are qualified and in a certain way and chat to them. You'll learn how to do that later on. But that is one example of kind of a niche tactic that is going to spark curiosity. System breakdown. So this is getting bigger. So we're talking now, this is more along the lines of kind of a bigger case study, or bigger system case study that created an outcome for clients. So you can kind of do how I generate 30 plus LinkedIn leads without spamming inboxes, or it could be how I helped a client to, earn X amount last year. So this is the more normal case study that you're kind of thinking about. And I wanted to do this last because these are probably the lowest volume ones you can do, and they're the least replicable, because it takes a long time to build a big case study, whereas we can have quick wins, multiple times every single day once we know what we're looking for. But although saying that, these system breakdowns do have their place. So it's nice, broad, solves a common pain point, and is kind of generally high level, promises consistent predictability over time, and gives you an overview of your whole system, and clearly positions you as an authority who can deliver small wins but can also deliver the big hit it out of the park wins as well. It's a combination of all of these different types of lead magnets and value resources spread out on a weekly basis, or twice weekly if possible, that show people who are interested and who are getting this content, maybe they're on your email list, or maybe they're just on your timeline and they're repeatedly opting into these things. They're basically going to be imprinted with the idea, you know how to solve the problem that is relevant to them. So in my case, I'm talking about posting loads of lead magnets with lots of different variables and situations to convince people, to show them that no matter what comes up, I've either done exactly what you're going through before and I have the solution to it, or I've dealt with so many different cases that I'm really quickly able to come up with a solution to speed run you to the results that you need from this. So that's the idea that I try and get in people's minds with my lead magnets, and it's going to be the same with yourself. So templates aren't good enough, but it's templates with authority and quick wins that we can spin around consistently. It'd probably be worth watching this video twice. I haven't included any AI prompts, although I might put one in text below here. What I encourage you to do after watching this is get out your notes and look at each of these and think of applying them to your specific scenario, and try and come up with 2 different types for each one. A quick win, 2 different types of quick wins, 2 different types of mistake profiles, 2 different types of client-specific template reveals, or whatever that might look like. Write your list of 2 of each of these, and then you'll have 16 value resources. And they could be your first 16 weeks of value resources, which all your content will be created from. So that's the task that I'd like you to do off the back of this. Go write those down before you watch the next video, and then in the next videos we're going to show you how to put those all together and how to break them down in more detail so that you can start driving clients towards your offers. Thanks.